Hey guys, Pedro's here, and today I bring you a new video about a Herald of Thunder AutoBomber Assassin. This is my first time doing this build and I'm having so much fun with it. There's a few details that I would like to point out. Basically, the mandatory items here are Storm Secret rings because they make the build very comfortable to play. They increase the frequency that Herald of Thunder hits the enemies. And it's pretty simple to play this build because all you need to do is to crit once by using the Storm Brine or Orb of Storms, and then as you saw on the clips, you basically walk around. It's basically a walking simulator because your Herald of Thunder here will pop the enemies. As soon as they die, they will explode and then give you a massive clear speed. Very nice build overall speaking. Obviously, the Headhunter is not mandatory. It just helps with the clear speed, and it's a fun item in my opinion. And even on the bosses, as you saw in the clips as well, I removed all my Headhunter buffs. So this build has enough damage to clear all the content without this belt, which makes space for any other Stygian Vice, for example, Stygian Vice belts with some life resists. And just be careful about the dexterity because this build needs a little bit of dexterity and Headhunter gives us plenty. So just have that in mind when you're making this build. Also, you can find a very relevant information on the POB on the video's description. At the bottom left, as always, there is a leveling progress tree that you can use for yourself. On the notes over here, there's also relevant info about the Bandit, Pantheon, Ascendancy order, and budget options as well. Some important info regarding your gear when upgrading it. And talking about budget option, what you can do is use an Inpulsa's chest with Storm Gifts gloves because every time you shock an enemy, the shock will spread to the enemies in a very large radius. I think it's 15 radius by using these Storm's Gift gloves, and your Inpulsa's chest will basically destroy all the packs around it. A similar clear speed to that is in a build that you can find on my channel, which is called Storm Brand's Assassin with an Inpulsa, I guess. Well, it's really similar because you can use, it's basically the same mechanic, and as soon as you hit an enemy, the Herald of Thunder will kill it, and after that it will explode with the Inpulsa and the gloves mechanics. You can see that on the videos right there on my channel. Some important details here is about the Timeless Jewel, which is about the under the Dorianis influence, and all you have to do is divine it until you obtain this node here, which is lightning damage leached as life. Could be anywhere inside this radius. It's a little bit annoying to get it, but it's really all about RNG. As soon as you get one, you can use it to help you with the lightning damage that you will take from these rings. Okay. Also, there is a Thread of Hope here, large jewel, which is not mandatory as well, but it helps you with some survivability, some damage, some quality of life regarding mana reservation, and also some damage over there. Unnatural Instinct is not mandatory too. It helps with the mana reservation mainly because of the Discord Artisan, and also gives us some properties in this radius. The medium clusters, the cluster jewels, the large cluster has Doriani's Lesson and Storm Drinker, and all the other medium clusters have Empowered Envoy and Self-Fulfilling Prophecy. All these properties you can find in the POB's description. All the other jewels are about mainly maximum life, damage, and some elemental resistances, as you can see. Another nice jewel is Calamitous Vision because this will increase our damage by a lot. All the gear here I crafted myself. I used Awakening Orb for the weapon, the helmets, the chest. These boots here are not mandatory as well, as you saw on the POB, because it has Elusive and Tailwind, and it's mainly because I needed to be as fast as possible in order to be 40 out of 40 regarding the challenges to complete the 750 heists. I was using before a 1 Exalted Boots, so all the costs from everything apart from the Headhunter was around 100x. The Helm enchantment could be Herald of Thunder has reduced mana reservation. You don't necessarily need this one, but it helps by giving us some mana space in order to use the Aspect of Spider craft, which increases our damage, but it's not mandatory. About our weapon, we did a Awakener craft also. We clear all the prefixes and then ended up with some multi-mod. After that, if you want, you can just meta craft by exalting it and then removing all the prefixes by using suffixes cannot be changed and then scouring it until you hit a damage penetration elemental resistances or a tier 1 lightning damage to spells. Luckily, I exalted and got a tier 1 cold spells. I wasn't min-maxing this one, so I ended up with this modifier and I was happy with it. But you can do this process until you hit a very nice modifier. It's really up to you whether you want to min-max a build or not. Another thing very nice, in order to increase the damage, you can replace these gloves with a Orb of Storm setup with Awaken Hex Touch and Conductivity with a Assassin's Mark. In bosses, it will boost your damage by a lot. Therefore, after that, you can replace these gloves with another one or another implicit like +1 Frenzy or anything else that you find useful. You can also replace this Wise Oak with a Bottle of Faith. Bottle of Faith is around 20x now, but it gives us around 30% more damage against bosses, so it's really huge. You can even use the Bottle of Faith when clearing. I just didn't want to increase the cost of this build even further. You can replace the Quicksilver against bosses by using the Bottle of Faith as well, or you can just replace the Wise Oak. Okay, it's really up to you. Once again, and yeah, I think that's it. All you have to do is to crit once by using the Stormbrand and the Orb of Storms. It will basically function like a walking simulator because you will walk around. Your phase run will even proc the Arcane Surge, so you don't really have to worry about flame dashing all the time. It's really fun. It was very worth to spend every exalt on this build. Like I said, I spent around 100x. With the boots 130, but you actually don't need this one, on top of the Headhunter. Once again, Headhunter is not mandatory, it's just about fun and about clear speed, but it's nice to mention it because plenty of people after they farm a lot of currency in soft card, they don't have anywhere to spend. So this is a nice build for you to farm even more if you want, or even a build to start the league. Obviously, it's not going to be as excellent as other builds like Toxic Rain for starters, but I mean, it is a possibility, and if you enjoy something and you want to keep progressing through it, you can keep investing, farming low tier maps, find other sources of currency, and then keep investing to the build until you reach this stage, because in my opinion it is a lot of fun to play this build. Very comfortable. I'm not having a hard time actually. I mean, it is a high number of contracts, but with this build it's been a breeze. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.
What's this? A real challenge? You've finally caught my attention.
Why fun? What's the point? Tira o Headhunter e coloca um belt melhor? Nada, deixa o Headhunter aí. Aí se a pessoa tiver um belt melhor, já faz até melhor a fight.
They became reliant on it.
Dano tem de sobra, né? Jogar. Já jogou Hades, ô Michael? Você que tá falando aí pra jogar? Chegou a testar? Item level ideal do Bowl? Bowl pra qual build? Build sem Bottle of Faith? Dá pra usar, mano. Vai critar bem mais rápido, inclusive. Pode colocar no lugar do Quicksilver. No lugar do Wise Oak. Se colocar no lugar do Wise Oak. Até do Quicksilver mesmo. Ia critar com mais frequência. Que isso? O Cirão tá todo bugado, mano. Mano, tá tudo bugado isso.
Meaning is